Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I am Jason. As always, my co-host, the man, Zach Partridge.
What up?
We really need to get you a nickname because I want to be like my man, the Shark, but you can't be the Shark because that's stupid.
So dumb.
But we got to come up with something.
I don't know, man. Like, it's so weird because, like I said, like Steel Fist, they called me the People's Champ on that last one. And it was cool, but man, that's kind of, for me, it's weird.
Yeah.
What's your nickname? The People's Champ. I sound like a tool.
I mean, but you kind of are though. Like, you're friends with everybody. Like, we have our podcast. Like,
am I though?
Well, kind of. I mean, 99.9% of the people.
I try to be.
So, funny story. My 10-year-old daughter just called to tell me she got to sit in a fire truck and blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling her, I said, hey, I'm getting ready to record our podcast. And she said, I've seen your YouTube channel, Dad. You guys need more subscribers. You don't have enough. Yeah.
Hey,
thanks.
Shaylee, calm down. We're trying.
Yeah. How about you hit the subscribe button, you little turd? So my 10-year-old daughter is telling us we need more subscribers. So if you're listening, click that subscribe button, baby.
Our subscribers have gotten a lot better in the last couple weeks. We're trying.
I think it helps that we have local fights going on now, which is what we originally started this podcast for, and we really didn't get to do it. We had a few in the beginning, but that was
my card. That was it.
Yeah, that's true. We had a few in the
February card. That was it.
Yeah, that was it. And we only interviewed 3 guys? Arlo, Cole.
Well, Arlo wasn't fighting. His was just an opportunity because he's a cool guy.
That's true. Yeah, right on.
Ryan,
yeah.
Me, you. Wasn't the very first episode ever with a fighter just you and Lehigh?
Yes. Was Lehigh, yes.
Right? If I remember right.
Yep.
My memory's not too bad for somebody who gets punched in the head on a daily basis.
It's really not. But so we kind of went along
winging it.
UFC. We've had all kinds of good stuff coming up. We've had Ultimate Fighters on here.
UFC fighters.
Look how many UFC fighters we've had on. Gabe came on. Gabe Rudiger came on. Bubba, who was freaking amazing. Justin Ledet came on. Hey, Juicy J.
Time out real quick. I'm going to do everybody a favor right now. If you want to see a show, go and add Bubba McDaniels on Facebook.
Yes. We need to get him back on the podcast because he has a fight on the same night as you.
Yeah, we need to because that dude, that's a show. He
is my favorite by far. And he's always in our group too. So if you're not in our private group, he's always commenting. He's always interacting. If you're in Texas, in his area, you can even go fight him if you are brave enough to go try to fight him.
He keeps like nonchalantly be like, come down and come get some sparring rounds. I'm like, oh yeah, let me just detour down to Texas, get a couple rounds in.
Yeah, with a 6 foot, how tall is he? 6'4", 6'5", 240-pound guy? Yeah, I'll pass.
I mean, it's not much worse than sparring
Justin
Ledet, but
maybe we can get Justin back on and talk about his fight because he's got a fight coming up in 2 weeks.
He's got a big fight, and I think it's going to be really interesting. I think he's going to have a really good opportunity to get a fight of the night bonus because Little Bird tells me, and I've trained a couple times with him. It's not like I train with him regularly, but I've sparred with him a couple times.
Yeah.
I think he's just going to try and stand and bang with the dude. And the dude's a kickboxer, and Justin's got hands, and he's good. So, like, dude, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun fight.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that. So
me too.
Go ahead and say it, Zach. You've been waiting. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
I told you so.
You did tell me so.
So if anybody would like to pause the podcast right now and go back and listen to last Friday's show when I talked about what I thought Brian Ortega was doing for 2 years, and it was he saw that the level and the gap was huge between where he was currently and where he needed to be a featherweight champion, and he went and he fixed those things. And that's what without any, like, obviously I don't have any knowledge. I don't have a personal relationship with Brian Ortega or anybody around him or anything like that. But he just seemed to me like the mentality, he's cerebral and he's smart, and he saw something and he's like, I need to fix it, and I need to address it before I fight again. and he wasn't going to take a fight till things were right. And then COVID happened, and it gave him a little bit more time. But boy, did he fix things.
That was impressive.
Because Korean Zombie's no joke, and he looked levels ahead of Korean Zombie.
I think obviously I did that podcast last week where you were training with those other two guys that we do the breakdowns with, Scott and James, and we all were on Korean Zombie because of the layoff. We didn't know how the layoff was going to affect him with the way he fought against Max Holloway. I think we were all kind of writing him off, and you called it, man. You were spot on with that. Like,
well, people, there's sports psychology that plays into it too.
Yes,
and this is what's so interesting to me about Khabib. I don't think you know what like championship medal you really have until you lose, and we see how you come back, right? And I mean, I'm not trying to disregard anything with Khabib. He's the most dominant fighter in the UFC. I mean, he's lost like a round in like 12 UFC fights or whatever. But I want to see how you come back from a loss. And there was just, I don't know what it is, but if it's just the undescribable or if there's an aura around Brian Ortega, it just really made me believe that he was the type of guy that was going to be able to take a loss and the loss will make him better. And he was already so talented. I mean, I'll say he's the most elite jiu-jitsu guy at featherweight other than Ryan Hall.
Yeah, 100%. And
he's somebody that could play with Ryan Hall on the ground and probably have the best success against Ryan Hall if their fight went to the ground.
He is a problem for Volkanovski.
He's a
problem.
huge problem, right? Because Volkanovski Max got off in their second fight. Max got off in the first 2 rounds, keeping him at range and things like that. Very similar. Ortega could do a very similar thing. And then Volkanovski started mixing in some takedowns and some shots and stuff and never really like secured a takedown and like held Max down, but he was able to mix up the pace of the fight with that. If you do that against Brian Ortega, he will snatch your neck and put you to sleep.
That's going to be
because he has an elite skill set there.
So was that the fight to make to them? Did we not even wait for a Yair Rodriguez fight and Zabit?
Yeah, I think so.
Wait for that to see, or do you just give Ortega the title shot right now?
I think Ortega with that performance, that dominant of a performance, I think you could go ahead and book that.
Yeah, book that, and then still give the winner of Zabit and depending on what you want to do with Calvin Kattar or whatever, Korean Zombie, Calvin Kattar, Korean Zombie, Max Holloway. I mean, there's options. There's options there. So many good options. I was blown away because I honestly did not see that fight going that way. I thought it was pretty awesome, that clip where they showed him in the back warming up when he did that elbow, that spinning elbow. Did you see that clip?
Yeah, I did. Well, there's a hole in his game, right? Yair Rodriguez showed it, and he didn't fix it. He comes in too aggressively.
Yep.
He comes in too aggressively, and he leaves himself open with where his hands are when he comes in that way. That leaves him susceptible to that spinning back elbow. And guess what? I don't know who his next opponent is, but I'll bet you $100 right now that they throw it at some point in their fight.
I think you're right. I think you are right, sir.
I mean, how tough is Korean Zombie though, too? Because he ate that right in the teeth and survived.
That's why they call him the freaking Korean Zombie.
But let's talk about the flip side of that and the guy who lost in the fight a little bit. I feel bad because he said a very similar thing when he lost to Yair Rodriguez. It was he's disappointed and he feels bad at himself and he let his country down and he let everybody down and he has like an honor, like he's a real martial artist. He has like an honor in there and the way he does things, and like I almost feel like sick when I see him lose because you could tell how much it affects him and how how bad he hates it.
think
He feels like he like lets a nation down when he loses. That's super scary.
It must be a cultural thing. I know it is with the Japanese. I've studied a lot, read a lot of books on the way they are, military stuff, and I think it's a culture thing, with those guys.
I agree.
Those guys won't quit. Like there's no quit in that Asian culture. Like it's
No, you have to shut off their lights. You know that's
yeah.
and it's the and I've been watching a lot about Justin Gaethje and his lead up with Khabib, but I think the Russians are that way. I think that I think that there's some Americans that have that built in them and that they grow into that kill or be killed mentality. And that but there's a lot of guys that that quit, right? You could push to a point to quit. But I feel like there's something in those cultures, those harder cultures, and the way that they're raised that it's instilled in them and they're raised with it rather than having to develop it or whatever. Like I fully believe like if somebody's going to beat me in a fight, they have to turn off the lights, they have to completely choke me out, or they have to break something before I would tap. But that was instilled in me by my dad.
Yeah.
That's not a cultural thing here. It's a cultural thing there. And there's cultural shame. There's cultural shame in quitting.
Yes. 100%. 100%. And you don't see that with a lot of guys. A lot of it's obviously, like you said, how they're raised, how you're raised. Dude, can we talk about the boxing match before we go in and talk about the rest of these? Because there were some things that went on during that big fight on Saturday. Or do you want to go through the rest of this card?
Yeah, we could talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I wanted to touch on that Lomachenko and Lopez, which was a pretty good fight. Lopez, I thought, did what he needed to do to win the fight. It was huge upset. But one thing that stood out to me is the commentators through the whole night kept saying,
"We're terrible."
We're terrible. They're horrible for one. But they kept saying stuck with me. They kept saying, we need to applaud these guys for not taking easy fights and for stepping up and fighting the best of the best. And I'm thinking, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Like,
no, but
you don't see that in the UFC. Do we applaud UFC guys for taking tough fights? No, because they take tough fights every week.
It's the differences in the sport. And these guys and this young generation of boxers, it should be applauded because they're trying to correct a flaw in the sport and the culture of the sport. The culture of boxing is pad your record as long as you can.
Yeah.
Until nobody will fight you anymore. Then try and cash in on the big money fight and hope you win that fight. Right? Would you agree? That's the culture of boxing.
100%. Yeah.
They should be applauded for that because they're trying to break that culture because it's the right thing to do as a competitor. It's the correct thing to do.
Yeah, they can't. If you're going undefeated, like look at the guy that was in the heavyweight. I can't even remember that kid's name. And I'm not saying that the guy that he fought was a can by any means, because that cut that he got on his eye just after one punch he got split open. Like that guy that kid has some serious power. But it's like, how often do you see an MMA fighter with a undefeated record outside of Khabib? Like, who goes through this undefeated? You just don't. It just doesn't happen in MMA. Eventually, you're gonna get caught, and it's almost like. And I'm a huge boxing fan. I love Saturday night was great. I love a good high level boxing match. It was. One of the things that I thought was just amazing was the commentators kept saying, Lomachenko, he's reading him, he's waiting, he's figuring him out. And obviously he waited a little bit too long, but when he did and he started connecting, I was like, oh, it was like you were watching a freaking masterpiece. But Lopez countered and did all the right things to counter him.
So I'm not going to pretend to be a boxing expert because I'm not, but I will say that, I will say where there, I think there is a little bit too much of a mentality in boxing of we're gonna box for 10 rounds, 12 rounds, whatever it is, 5
Yeah.
rounds, whatever those some of those. We're gonna box, dude. Give me the dude that has the killer instinct that says, no, I'm not gonna let it go to the judges. I'm gonna put you down inside 4 rounds because I
Oh,
feel
go ahead.
I feel like that is one thing, and I hate when Dana White says don't leave it in the hands of the judges because it's hard to get a fighter out of there. But I feel like I don't feel like there's a huge killer instinct in boxing.
Do you think it could be something with as long as the fights are? Because you're talking about a 36-minute fight versus UFC 15 minutes on the norm if a championship fight. Because on championship fights in UFC, some fights do tend to go off a little bit slower.
And I would love to get a boxer or somebody that's done both, like a Justin Horsley or Clay Collard on here.
Justin Ledet.
Or Justin Ledet.
Justin Ledet's fought pro fight boxing fights.
And talk about the cardio difference. Because I would imagine in my head, uneducated opinion, I would imagine that boxing, I understand the different types of cardio, but I feel like I could get ready for a 10-round boxing fight better than I could have easier cardio-wise than a 5-round MMA fight. Because of the grappling and the clinching and stuff like that. I mean, there seems to be more to it, but I don't know. Like I said,
I don't know.
I'm uneducated on it, so I can't.
I'm definitely the last one, but maybe Justin, either one of the Justins would be great to get on to see what they think about it. Because I forgot Horsley's fought a couple big fights just recently.
Yeah. Congratulations to him. Well, shout out. Just got a job as a head wrestling coach at a local school up there in Idaho. Pretty cool.
Heck yeah. It's badass. So anyways, that was a good fight. I mean, dude, Lopez, he is what boxing needs right now.
But what happens in a rematch?
Brash, he's outgoing.
What happens in a rematch?
There were flashes of Lomo, but I think Lopez wins again. I'm going to say it. I think he wins again.
I think if Lomachenko comes out and kind of establishes his pace and presence in the 3rd, 4th round instead of waiting till the 7th, I think he kind of schools him.
Those couple rounds when he was coming forward, which I think Lopez can fix. When you notice Lopez, when Lomo was coming forward, he kind of shelled up a few of those times in that 8th, 9th, 10th round in that frame. But that 12th round, Lopez was showing he wasn't going anywhere.
He's great young fighter. I'm not trying to take anything away from him.
Kid's only 23 years old.
Yeah.
Win or lose, he won in that fight. Even if he lost, he won in that fight.
And I told you I had it on the scorecard 6 rounds to 6 rounds. Like if you just go round by round. But I've said this before too. It's where I don't like the judges. I like to look at one guy and I look at the other guy and say who won the fight. Yep. And Lopez definitely inflicted the more damage, the heavier shots consistently throughout the fight.
He did. I thought that
it's a good fight.
The 2 rounds that I thought could have went either way were 2nd round and.
I thought Loma pretty clearly won the 2nd round.
That one, and I think it was the 8th round, if I'm not mistaken, 7th or 8th.
Yeah. See, I gave both
a little bit more, and then going in, I mean, I thought Lopez did enough to win it, but I thought with that 12th round, with the way that he came out and he basically submitted it and said, "This is my fight, and I'm going to win."
He imposed his will in that 12th round.
I mean, he's the bigger guy too. Like he's big, he's skilled. I think in a rematch he gets it done. I'm definitely not betting against him.
No, I will not.
But anyways, I just had to ramble on that. Sorry, that was our boxing segment.
My uneducated boxing opinion. Jason?
If there was more big boxing fights, we could probably talk about them. But the problem is
they happen twice a year.
Yeah, twice a year, and then the ones that we do have, it's like the guy said 8,000 to 1 underdog.
Fury Joshua happening.
It's not happening. No, that is happening this year. I think December.
That'd be fun.
Because Wilder's not happening. They said that's not going to be the next fight.
It shouldn't be.
Well, let's go back to the card.
Okay. Start at the bottom?
Start at the bottom, which we knew.
we both knew that Saeed was going to win. We both picked him. He was a heavy favorite for a reason. He knocked that dude clean out.
That was impressive. Never bet against the Russians, right?
Don't bet against the Russians.
Second fight, pretty much.
Maxim Grishin called
Christian,
that.
I think we knew what was going to happen. Then the third fight was probably obviously the most competitive one up to that point.
That was a dog fight, and it was really good.
Great fight. I think he could have won it either way, honestly.
I think we both did pick Zaim on it, but I'm not going to lie. I thought that he had won, but I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't have been mad if the judges gave it to James Malarkey.
Do you think that they should go more to live scoring? Like I know LFA's been testing it out.
100%.
The more they keep showing that, and the more I keep seeing it in Invicta and now in LFA, I want to see those guys. I want to see that live scoring.
Yeah,
because how that would have changed that fight in that third round. Could it have changed the fight? I don't know.
I thought Jamie Malarkey was pretty aggressive still.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The next fight, Young Park, I think we knew what was going to happen on that one. He just pretty much dominated him.
So full admission here. If anybody saw my Instagram or Facebook story of me sleeping holding my baby son, that was during that fight. I missed the whole fight.
That Young Park, he is a fun guy. Did you listen to his post-fight interview?
Nope. Like I said, I slept through the whole thing. I woke up right as the Julian Roberts, the ref said, "Are you ready?"
So they told him during the post-fight interview, they had set the record for the most ground punches. And he says, more than Chimaev?
That's funny.
He said that after. It was pretty awesome. So he's funny. He's got a personality. I like the guy a lot.
What did you think of Chimaev sitting next to Dana White?
I thought it was pretty cool. Him and DC doing the little wrestling thing at their dinner table too. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did see that.
How about DC pumping up the Khabib and Justin fight? Did you see him talking about it?
Yeah.
He's really pumping that fight.
Let's get through this card, and then we're going to talk about Khabib.
Jillian Robertson, I think we both picked. We're all over Jim. I thought she would end up getting the submission, but she's impressive.
I thought she could have earned I don't know if she got a performance in the night bonus, but I thought she was somebody that definitely deserved it because
she did.
Man, she's the smaller girl.
Yep.
The other girl was a lot of power, comes in to knock your head off. And like a little savage, she just very methodically just executed her little game plan, would take her down just very nicely, slowly, methodically, used her jujitsu, got in the right positions, didn't let the stronger girl overpower her at any points, used perfect technique. And then when she got to where she wanted to, she beat the piss out of her. And it was awesome.
Yeah,
she's one of my favorite girls to watch fight. Absolutely, hands down.
She's exciting. I like watching her too.
She's a little savage, and I mean, let's be honest. I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but how many fights that we watch go to decision after the fight are we left going meh?
The majority of them, a lot,
right? A lot of them, right? I mean, they're some of them just. Neither girl brings an exciting style in some fights. And I'm not saying all, but I'm just saying there's a chunk of girl fights that you watch it at the end of the decision. You're just like, meh, that's fine. Like you don't really care one way or the other. I feel like Jillian Roberts is an exciting fighter. And I think somebody like her is going to be very important for women's MMA.
I 100% concur with you on that one, Zach. I am a fan. The next fight, man, this was a high level fight.
Our boy Gamrot got screwed.
I will say this: had I known that Kutuladazi guy trained with Chimaev, I may have changed my pick on that one.
That's hilarious.
He was impressive. Like
they were both impressive, but I thought Gamrot won.
I thought he did. I thought he did enough to win too. It was a split decision, so it's like. Do you think they should do more draws in MMA?
Yes.
Unless, which I think we're starting to see it, these losses they're not as devastating. You know what I mean? If a guy takes a loss, this guy's going to be bounce back. Like he's going to bounce back.
Okay, but let me make a point here. Yes, there should be more draws. If you don't know who won the fight,
yeah.
Why can't there be a draw? Why? Why can't there be a draw if you don't know who won? Clearly, who won the fight? Why can't there be more rounds that are just 9-9
And I think you can argue that on
or
that
10-10?
fight. You can make an argument for both of those guys that won that
Because
fight.
and you know what's really easy to do from that? Run it back. Their next fight. That is something that I would actually really like to see in MMA, on those close, razor thin decisions, rather than somebody's life getting changed or not off of a razor thin split decision, and win bonuses and loss bonus and all the factors that go into it. What if they just call it a draw and say, hey, you each get half of your win bonus, and we're going to run it back, and you guys are going to fight again for another 3 rounds.
I'd have zero.
I mean, that's just, I think it's fair, and I think it makes more sense. And it's too many guys rack up losses on a couple bad decisions or split decisions. Like, oh, who is it? I'm thinking of one person in particular, female fighter.
Angela Hill, who's got a rematch with
Angela Hill. Thank you.
Rematch with Torres. They just announced it. Did you see it? TCU Torres.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that sucks. Like, that it affects their career and their livelihood.
Guram, I think he edged it out. He was the more aggressive fighter in round 1. Like, he was, and his shots were a little more. He was landing a little bit more effective shots, those body kicks. But it was an amazing fight. That was a good fight. I might rewatch that one. Main card: Thomas Almeida, Jonathan Martinez. I love Jonathan Martinez.
That was the first one I feel like I was wrong on. I missed that one.
I like that Jonathan Martinez kid. He's good. He's got a bright future too.
He is good. But that was the one probably I missed. I like Thomas Almeida a lot, and that was probably the first one I just completely whiffed on.
Yeah, he's. I mean, the kid's only 26 years old. He's got a bright future.
He's coming.
And everybody thought that he was just going to get taken down, and
nope.
Which he avoided that. So he's shown that he has the stand up and he can stop your takedown. So watch out. I was off. I slept on James Krause on this one.
I told you, don't sleep on my boy James.
I like that guy. Dustin Poirier's cousin.
He's the poor man's Dustin Poirier. That's all he is.
Poor man's Dustin Poirier. He really is.
But he's not even that poor. Like, he's legit.
Yeah, he is legit. I really like him. I slept on that one. I thought Claudio was going to get it done, but yeah, I was big time on that one.
And you know what's so cool? Did you listen to his press conference? James Krause?
No.
He's like, he goes, why did he do these short-term? He's like, I have to take these fights because, like, I can't plan out fights, because he goes, including me, he goes, he coaches 11 other UFC fighters at his gym. Yeah. And he goes, I'm constantly in camp for those guys. He's like, I got 6 guys in the fourth quarter of this year, and I have another couple in the next quarter. And like, he's unselfish. He's not selfish. He's putting his fighters before his own career. And he goes, I know the UFC doesn't like it, but I don't care. It's more important to be a coach. It's freaking cool, man.
That is pretty freaking cool.
And he threw a lot of shade at our boy Buckley.
I did hear that. He's not a fan of Buckley. He even said he'd come up to 170.
That was 185. That was
185. Yeah.
Funny. He can get it too. I was like, oh man, there's some bad blood there. And Buckley asked if he could come train at James Krause's gym, and he said, nope. Kick rocks, dude. That's hilarious.
So, I mean, Buckley just signed a fight, right?
Yeah. Gets to another Jordan Wright, another undefeated middleweight. But that would be fun. Yeah. Sign
him up. Just renegotiate, Dana. Get him in there.
Anytime there's bad blood, sign me up. I want to watch it.
For sure. Jimmy Crute is a beast.
Dude, that was no joke. Not only when he dropped the dude, the accuracy of the follow-up punches was incredible.
He's scary at 205.
He's scary.
I took a whiff on Bukakis, even though I did pick Jimmy Crute in our breakdown. I took a little gamble on our boy Modestus just because he trains out in England. But that didn't go over too well.
No, it did not.
Yeah, Jimmy Crute, man. He's going to be dangerous at light heavyweight. Where do you see this kid going from here? Speaking of kid, this guy's only 24 years old.
He's a murderer, dude, and he's got a really bright future. I mean, you got to start moving him up towards the You got to start moving him up towards the 125 guy, or the top 15 guys, right?
I would think so. I mean,
Wins over Paul Craig, Sam Alvey. I mean, Misha, his only loss is to a guy that's, yeah, man. I mean, it's a top Kirkunov. Man, it's tough dude. Tough dude. He's going to have a bright future. He's going to be a lot of fun.
how about our girl Jessica Andrade just getting it done?
Hey, Jessica, welcome to the division. Congratulations. Your second fight. Your second fight is going to be against Valentina Shevchenko. She deserves it.
How does that fight go down?
She deserves it.
With her aggressive style, how does that fight go down?
I mean, yeah, I do. I still think pound for pound, Valentina is probably the best female fighter ever. I think the only reason why Amanda Nunes beats her is because she's the bigger girl.
Yeah.
And Valentina's the one that's fighting out of the weight class there. I mean, it's not a dig at either one of them, but I just think skill for skill, pound for pound, Valentina is the better fighter. Amanda's the more powerful fighter, but Valentina Shevchenko is a monster. But we watched it. I mean, who's more skillful than Rose Namajunas?
Nobody.
Like not very many people.
Yeah. Joanna.
But
Joanna.
Rose schooled Joanna.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yep.
Put her down and then school her for 5 rounds in their rematch. And Jessica Andrade's power, she spiked Rose on her head and put her to sleep. So I think it would be foolish to not think that Andrade can't make that a fight. Is Valentina favored? Absolutely. Does she win? If they fight 10 times, does she win, a majority of the time? Absolutely. But Jessica Andrade is no joke. And if Valentina, who we've pretty much never seen her off her game in the last, 5 years?
Yeah.
If she's off just a little bit that night or whatever, Jessica Andrade absolutely could get her into a dogfight, unlike anything she has seen in quite a long time.
Yeah. Liver shot was something else, man. She folded her with that body shot.
And the follow-up was so savage. She knew she hurt her. She threw the flying knee at her, and then she just loaded up for another nasty body shot. I mean, that's it. That's experience. That's a savvy fighter. That's a fighter, a championship level fighter to recognize where she hurt her and not to go rushing head hunting for the finish, but to back her up against the cage and then pick the final body shot to put her down. It's nasty.
Yeah, she is a savage.
She's a savage. She's an absolute savage. And oh, by the way, if you want any idea of how big, that speaks volume to Wei Li Zhang and how big of a savage she was, because she walked right through her.
The women's divisions are exciting, man.
The top of the women's division are getting very, very, very good.
And they're good on the ground. They're good stand up. Like
they lack a little depth still.
Yeah.
But it's coming. And the top tier girls, the top tier matchups is getting very, very good.
Well, there was a girl that fought, was it LFA? Gosh, I can't think of her name. She was, I'm going to see if I can find it on Tapology real quick. Because she lost to somebody that's fighting in the UFC. What was her name? Oh, Sam Hughes. That Sam Hughes chick, she's legit.
Yeah.
She lost a fight that she was dominating to that Vanessa Demopoulos chick, right, who caught her in that inverted triangle, but she was dominating that fight and just got caught. And now I think Vanessa's got a fight scheduled in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah. No, she's got an LFA fight coming up.
Oh, another LFA fight.
She lost her. She lost in August against Corey McKenna in the Contender Series.
Right.
But Sam Hughes, watch out for that chick. Yeah. Not only is she a savage on the ground, but her stand-up game is crisp. Like she choked that girl out. I'm a fan of hers. You're gonna see her on the big stage, and she fights. What is she? 115? I think she's 115 or 125. So
good.
Yeah. And then the main event, T-City, man. T-City. Give him the shot. Give him a shot at the strap.
I mean, the way he dominated, right?
I didn't see it, man. I didn't see it come. I don't think a lot of people saw it come. I really don't. except for you.
I'm a genius. No. I mean, I didn't think I saw that one-sided of a beating coming, but I think too. You just saw a matter of once he hit him with that back elbow. I mean, once a fighter gets rocked, it's just. I mean, it's hard to come back. You know.
Even that he was pretty much out of it after that. I think he didn't even remember what happened the rest of the fight.
He didn't remember the third, fourth, or fifth round. He said.
Yeah. That's a hey, but he popped right back like a freaking zombie after it.
Yeah, he's the Korean zombie for a reason. I give him props, but Brian Ortega, I think that's the fight to make. Alexander Volkanovski, he's ready. If he's ready and he's healthy, Ortega's definitely healthy. I don't think he had any damage in that fight. Maybe give him a couple months to grow some hair back.
Do you? Yeah, I think he's regretting that a little bit listening to his post-fight thing.
I don't think he regrets it. I think it was very cool.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, he freaking donated his hair to kids fighting chemo. Like it's freaking
That is
cool.
awesome. Yeah, I shouldn't say regret was the wrong word.
But he looks weird. It looks weird.
That's weird. How about this weekend pay-per-views? The biggest pay-per-view of the year. Does it get any bigger than this?
I'm jacked all the way.
Dude, this whole main card is just insane.
It's ridiculous.
It is unreal.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, even the undercard is good.
The undercard is good, and I'm bummed that the card starts at noon and the undercard is going to be happening while I'm training. And if I wasn't in fight camp, I'd skip it. But I'm in fight camp.
Does Aldo have TVs that you could put it up?
Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll be like rolling and peeking over. Like in all of our rolls, just peeking over at the screens.
I'm going to go take a potty break. You can keep talking.
I need to take a potty break. Can we pause this?
I don't think we can pause it. We'll just go and then we'll come back. How about that?
Taking 60 seconds, everybody.
Taking 60 seconds. We'll be right back. Now we're back. I'm back, Hillary. We're getting old. Zach's in fight camp. Got to pee all the time. I got to pee all the time because I'm old. Fun stuff. Hillary, are you ready for Zach's fight? That I'm going to have to watch on stream since I can't be there live. My wife will be there live, though. I think she's sitting at the table with you guys. Awesome. Oh, man. It's going to be awesome night. We need to get you on the podcast, Hillary. You need to put Zach in check on a couple things. This is why I have to pee all the time. Monsters. They run through you. So your wife chimed in.
I saw that.
She's watching. Love it.
Appreciate it, babe.
I wish that's probably the only downfall to doing these is we can't pause them like we could the Zoom ones.
Yeah, sorry, folks, but Jason is sick and has the Rona probably, and is trying to stay hydrated, and I am trying to cut weight and drinking a ton of liquids.
Let's face it, I had to pee all the time anyways, even before that.
It's true. I do.
So this week, fight card.
We'll break it down and make predictions later, right? I still want some time, but I'm getting more and more confident that I think Gaethje pulls an upset.
You think so?
Yep. Get out of here, babe.
Oh man,
she's not wrong. She's not wrong.
Oh man. So you think Gaethje has a shot, huh? I know we'll break down the rest of the card later this week, but
yeah,
you give Gaethje a shot.
Yeah, I do.
You're listening.
I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, he wins for sure. You're crazy if you think Khabib's winning. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Gaethje's a lock, but I fully believe that he has the skill set, the tools, and the mentality to be the guy that finally beats Khabib.
If you are a betting man, the bet is probably on Gaethje then, right? I mean, why would you want to?
That's where the value is for sure. I mean, if you're going to build a parlay, you're probably building it around Khabib.
I mean, he's a -3. He's almost 4-1 favorite. It's -355. It just keeps going up.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. The odds makers have it going under 5 rounds. Almost 2-1 under 5 rounds. So they think it's going to finish.
Well, yeah.
Which I could see because if Justin's going to win, you got to think Justin's going to win by.
If Justin wins, it's because he knocks him out.
Yeah, I don't think Justin's going to win a decision. I don't see how that.
No. When's the last time he's won a decision?
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you. I can tell you right now when the last time he won.
One time against Melvin Gilliard. Am I right?
So he's punches, hooks, right hook, punches. Lost to Dustin Poirier, punches. Lost to Eddie Alvarez, knees, punches. Punches, doctor stoppage, leg kicks, punches, leg kicks. Melvin Gillard, 6 years ago. 6 years. He has not been to a decision in 6 years. How does that play out in a 5-round fight? Even though he did just go 5 rounds with Tony Ferguson, but there was no ground on that. It's all stand up.
Yeah, but so Justin's made some really good points in his interviews, and the biggest part is he believes it, and I fully believe that he believes it, and that's important, right?
Well, don't you have to? Don't you kind of have to believe that?
At that level, yeah, 100%. But this is the first time Khabib has fought somebody that has been training and wrestling as long as Khabib has. Dustin Poirier has good wrestling. He does not have a wrestling background.
That's true.
The closest guy to fight Khabib with a wrestling background was Ally Quinta. And on a day's or two's notice, Khabib didn't even finish him. He won convincingly. He won convincingly and beat him in a 5-round unanimous decision, I think 50-45. And one judge gave 1 round to Ally and Quinta maybe, but I mean, he dominated him, but he didn't finish him. And Ally Quinta has nowhere near the collegiate wrestling resume that Justin Gaethje has.
But Justin never uses it in a fight. Like I can see if he used it more, it might convince me a little bit more.
Yes, he does.
He uses it to stop the takedowns, but
that's how he won a national championship in JUCO wrestling. He was a defensive wrestler that never got taken down and never got pinned.
I just keep watching. Like I watched that Dustin Poirier fight the other day, and when he came back, I think it was after the 2nd round, and Dustin Poirier's like, I can't get him off of me. And I know, like, I get it. Dustin Poirier's not a wrestler, but he's like, I cannot get him off of me. And then I watched the Ally Quinta and the Edson Barbosa fight. He just mauled Barbosa. I've never seen anybody do that to Barbosa. Like he just literally just mauled him.
I have a question too, though. Like to be fair, and I'm going to be devil's advocate on a lot of this stuff.
Okay,
you ever seen anybody knock out Edson Barbosa the way Justin Gaethje did?
No.
Anybody stand in front of Edson Barbosa and trade leg kicks with him the way that Justin Gaethje did?
Yeah, I mean,
These are two very, very, very unique fighters, and to just dismiss the tools that Justin brings to that fight as, well, Gaethje or Khabib's just going to smash him, I think is selling Gaethje short. Now, I mean, there's a very real possibility that Gaethje can do his thing and find moderate success, maybe like Conor level success, where it's like never has Khabib does some nice things and does some good things, but never really has Khabib in danger by any means.
Yeah.
You know, and Khabib eventually just wears him down and chokes him out or whatever, you know. I mean, I could see it. I could absolutely see it ending very similar to the Poirier Conor fight, you know, where he just takes their back eventually and chokes them out. But Justin Gaethje is very, very, very conscious of what he cannot do. He's even said, if I'm on the cage, it's over. I've lost. That fight has to happen in the middle of the cage. He has masterful footwork. And that is a tribute. That's the other thing that I have. Kavanaugh's a genius. Dustin Poirier obviously comes from a very good camp. I think Trevor Whitman is the best coach in MMA.
That game plan he had against Tony Ferguson was
sick.
Phenomenal. Like, his stand-up was it was on another level. I think Khabib, somebody commented on Twitter, I think it was James Berner commented on there and said, Khabib's going to pull a Brett Favre. Like, when his father passed away, that Monday night game, that's going to be Khabib. He's going to pull the Brett Favre. I don't see Khabib faltering because of his father's. Like, you could look at it two different ways. You could say, how is he taking it after his father's death? Blah, blah, blah. But I think you're going to see the opposite. I think you're going to see a motivated Khabib. But
here's the other thing. Is there ever been a fight where you've thought that Khabib could give more? Not really. Like, he always gives maximum effort.
Oh, he is
always laser focused. You know, like, Khabib's mental toughness is as elite there is in this game. So for me to be like, well, he's going to try extra hard now.
Yeah, I mean extra hard. You're right. That was a bad analogy.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad analogy. I'm just saying, like, I'm not factoring that in because I think he always fought it with the inspiration of wanting to make his father proud. Yeah. I don't think that changes whether his father's here or not anymore.
Yeah.
The only way that I could see it going is Khabib's not right because his dad isn't there.
Yeah. Well, his dad wasn't his only training coach. Wasn't his only coach either. He had Javier Mendez in his corner, which is
great coach,
another top level coach.
But you know what I mean? Like, I think he always fought to honor his dad.
Yeah. 100%.
He obviously had such a deep connection with his father. He always fought for that. And I think that purpose is just still there. And the only way that it isn't is if there's something that him and his dad did to get him in a right mind space or whatever, that he doesn't have somebody to do that with anymore. That's the negative downside to this. But Gaethje in an interview brought up a good point too. Gaethje feels the weight of a nation behind him. He feels like this is USA versus Russia. And the other thing he said, he goes, you don't think I'm fighting for my grandparents that passed away 5 years ago? He goes, I walk out with their spirit every time. You know, I'm fighting for my parents too. Like, he goes, he showed some capacity. He feels for Khabib after just losing his dad, but he's sitting there. He goes, I'm fighting for my family too. This is not Gaethje fights with that same level of inspiration, I think. And the way that Khabib wants to smash you, right?
Yes.
Smash. Gaethje is trying to inflict as much carnage and violence in that cage as possible, and that's different in smashing. And I think that mindset serves Gaethje well because it's what made me believe that Tony had a chance against Khabib. And again, this is not me saying that they should be favored or they're going to beat him. This is what gives them these two men a chance that Poirier never had. That realistically, Conor doesn't have. It's this mindset. Conor, it's a business to him, and it's sport, and this is a good scrap, and let's do it. And he's not afraid to fight him, but like it's not this kill or be killed. And Dustin Poirier, it's not a kill or be killed. I mean, he fights like a freaking warrior. Like, don't get me wrong in any way, shape, or form. Poirier is down to scrap. But all these guys, Edson Barbosa, all those guys, like they are competitors to the max. But Tony and Justin, and this weekend, Justin, he is going in there with a kill or be killed mentality.
I do think he has. He's definitely got the right attitude. Out of everybody that Khabib has fought, he's the guy he's not just gonna wilt in there under the pressure. Like he's coming to bring it with bad intentions.
Bad intentions. Everything he throws.
He's got to like he gets against the cage. Like you could be elbows. I mean, just make it ugly. I don't know. I'll wait to make my prediction until we do our other podcast. But
I know what you're gonna pick. You're picking the Russian.
I mean, I'm not gonna bet on him. I do think he's gonna win. But betting wise, I don't know where my bet's going to go in. I don't know if it's going to be on one of those guys or maybe I do bet on Justin for the upset. I mean, look at what Lopez just did to freaking Lomo.
And by the way, that's the beauty in sports.
If you watch boxing, I mean, I know this is hindsight's 20/20, but if you watch some of Lomo's fights, he was beatable. I mean, Lopez had the skills to beat him, but I think it's everybody's just talking him up, kind of like we're talking Khabib up. Like I'm talking Khabib up, like he just can't be beat when he can be beat.
And here's the other side of it, and I want to make this very clear. The other reason why I think Gaethje is a live dog, if anybody is going to go through MMA undefeated, it's going to be Khabib, right? It's going to be somebody like Khabib.
Yeah,
but we don't see it. And even Khabib addressed it this week in Media Day.
Yeah.
Everybody eventually starts to slip up. Everybody.
Yep. And
that time will come with Khabib. Unless he walks away young.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue, dude's still in his prime.
He's 32 years old. He's still got solid years ahead of him.
He still has probably 3 or 4 years that he could continue to do this and might pick up 1, maybe 2 losses max, but no more than that in his next 10 fights. The other thing, I mean, he's 28-0. You're telling me in 28 fights, he's never really got clipped or injured? Michael Johnson wobbled him once, right? You're telling me if Michael Johnson is capable of landing something and wobbling him once, that somebody like Gaethje can't land the same punch and put his lights out?
Yeah.
That's possible.
It's very possible.
And it's going to happen eventually because this fight, you can't. I mean, even look at my dumb, short little career, right? All it takes is one unlucky thing. And that's it.
Beauty of this sport, man.
And Justin Gaethje hits like a middleweight and has bricks in his hands.
That's the beauty of MMA. That's the beauty of boxing too, really. Both combat sports in general.
Yeah, look what Andy Ruiz did against freaking Joshua.
Go back to Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson.
I mean,
because you don't know what that other guy's going through on the other side of the cage.
That's the beauty of sports. Except we do know what Khabib's going through, and he just lost probably the most significant relationship in his life.
Yeah, I just think
can't tell me there's not a chance.
Oh, there's definitely a chance. I just think I feel like we talked about at the beginning. He's just built different. He's raised different. He has a different outlook on the whole fight game. He's all about respect. He's all about religion and family, and he doesn't buy into all the nonsense. Like,
except when he's jumping into the freaking crowds. Jeez,
that just goes to show how serious that was for him.
That was so personal. And the other thing is, man, did you know that Kansas City Buffalo already started?
No.
I just got a red zone alert. That game started at 3, apparently.
How did we miss that?
I don't know.
Guess I'm not taking that game, am I?
Guess I'm not either.
Hey, just so you know, I did take the over on the Cards Dallas.
I might join you there.
I kind of like it.
But again, I'm sorry to get distracted. Squirrel, ADD brain. Yeah, Gaethje's built different too.
He is. I agree.
He is not built like a normal. He's not built like a normal human being here in America.
No.
He is a different type of crazy, and I freaking love it.
Well, this weekend's going to be a whole lot of fun. I can't wait to do the whole card breakdown to see. I'm going to go through and take a few notes today, see who I like.
So we can reckon Jared Cannonier versus Robert Whittaker. I actually think that's the craziest fight on the card.
I think
somebody's getting knocked out.
My initial thought, and I haven't put a bunch of thought on paper, I think Whittaker gets it done.
Oh, I mean, it's hard to bet against Whittaker, especially how good he looked against Till.
Yeah,
Cannonier is a monster.
Yeah, I think the experience factor is going to come into play in this one, but it's going to be a great fight. Like I said, I need to do more. I need to research that one a little bit more, but initially, I like Whittaker.
So do I.
I mean, you got Volkov and Walt Harris.
Yeah, man. I think that's a fight that Walt Harris gets it done in too.
He's actually an underdog in that fight.
Is he?
Yep.
I kind of like Walt Harris in that one. I like Walt.
His last fight with Overeem. Oh, that was hard to watch.
That was so gut wrenching. I was cheering.
I think everybody that was watching that was cheering for him, and he almost finished him too in the first round. Oh, it was so close.
He had him hurt. He had him hurt. But I mean, I like. We finally get to see Kutulaba versus Enclave.
Finally, who do you like in that one?
The Russian.
Can't bet against her. I think he's a huge favorite too.
Yeah. Dude, Tai Tuivasa's back. I love Tai Tuivasa. Yeah. Alex Oliveira, Sam Alvey, my guy. Follow him on TikTok. He's hilarious. Casey Ken on a quick turnaround.
Who is this? Who's this guy Cowboys fighting? I don't think I've ever seen this guy. Oh, he's been an M1.
Yeah, making a number one welterweight in Kazakhstan, number one in Asia Central.
That's scary. He's 25 years old.
Yikes!
And they're throwing him in there against Oliveira.
And triangle choke punches, guillotine, rear naked, body punches, rear naked, triangle choke, TKO, corner stoppage. Wow,
this guy sounds legit.
Finishes everybody, but Oliveira is legit. You want to talk legit? That dude's no joke.
Yeah. They must think highly of this guy if they're throwing him in there with Oliveira for his first fight in the UFC.
By the way,
what?
I don't know if you're looking at his Tapology, but yeah, he choked out Young Ho Park back in 2016.
Really?
Who you really like now? This guy, that could be a really sneaky, good, fun fight.
Then you got the Miranda Maverick fight with Liana Jojuna. Maverick beat our friend Deanna last year in Invicta, rear naked choke, third round. And she beat Pro Gonzalez in Invicta too.
Yeah.
This is her UFC debut. Fun stuff. What about that game last night, dude? I know I'm getting off subject. I'm just squirrel.
I don't want to talk about it.
I know. I thought the break.
You can't have running errors in game sevens.
That was the game. I mean, I thought it was close. I thought it was leaning more towards the Dodgers.
When it was 3-3, I texted you. I said it just feels like the Dodgers are going to win this.
But when they had that base running error, that kind of sealed it for me. I was like, it's not
you cannot at that level. You cannot make. So my dad taught me something. I think he'll be really proud if I don't think he's listening to this, but my dad always taught me physical errors are part of sports. Like it happens. Like there's going to be physical errors. You're going to make a bad throw. You're going to drop a ball. You're going to do, whatever. Mental errors I was raised with mental errors were unforgivable. Throwing it to the wrong place, bad base running. If you're playing shortstop and if you're playing shortstop and not knowing where a ground ball's supposed to go, based on where base runners are, situational stuff. In football, like not knowing the snap count and jumping off sides.
Or not doing the down.
Yeah. All that type of stuff. I didn't make very many of those mistakes, especially into my teenage years, because I was raised with the mindset of mental errors they're inexcusable, because both teams will make physical errors. That's part of sports. But usually the team that's more disciplined and doesn't make mental errors, that's usually who wins. And that game was not won and lost on freaking what's his face's bat flip bomb that he hit and all that. That game was won and lost on a mental error, base running error.
Yeah. It would
I mean, it was the difference between having runners on third and second with no outs. They hit that. He does that the right way. Now they have runners on first and second with one out, opposed to runners on first base with two outs. That's a huge deal in a playoff game.
Who do you like? Who do you like in the World Series?
Dodgers should win, no problem.
Think so? No problem, huh?
No problem. They have just as good as arms as the Rays, and their lineup's too good. Their lineup is too good. And I thought the Braves pitching actually pitched them very well, and they couldn't keep them down for 7 games. And the other thing is too, them winning the 3 games in a row against the Braves, they're riding high. And baseball is a game of
momentum.
And I'm not a Dodgers fan by any means, and I would like to see the smaller payroll team win. I just got a statistic. You ready for this?
Yeah, let's see it. Hear it.
Okay, so my man Avery hit me up with this statistic just a couple hours ago. The Tampa Bay Rays payroll for their entire team is $28.7 million.
Really?
Okay. Clayton Kershaw and Mookie Betts, and this is their pro-rated salaries for the 2020 season. Remember that they're not all getting their full paychecks because they only played a 60-something game season.
Yeah.
But so for the pro-rated Tampa Bay Rays, 28.7. Clayton Kershaw and Mookie Betts make 26.3 million this year. So yeah, I'm rooting for the Rays.
It's almost the disparity of the boxing fight from the MMA main event.
Right.
Which
how much did Romo make?
I want to say it was $3 million.
Good for him.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there. I saw the. Let me see if I can pull it up. I thought I saved it. Somebody posted a breakdown of what it was. Oh yeah, so Lomo made 3.5, Lopez 1.25, Ortega makes 225K, Korean Zombie makes 90K. It's kind of embarrassing, don't you think?
Yeah,
I think it's coming though. I think UFC's it's going to come. I mean, boxing's been around for ages. It's catching up though. We're going to start to see that pay gap close. I think so. All right, we good for today?
Yep. I got to go train.
Dude, so we've already had a huge lineup, but tomorrow we got Joel Haro coming on.
We have Eric Munoz
tomorrow.
You pointed out a good point. I didn't realize he's fighting on Friday night, not Saturday.
Yes.
Okay, so if you need tickets to Mountain Forest, go support Eric Munoz or Sasha Lopez, who was on the
was
on the podcast. They're fighting Friday night up in Logan, I believe. Yep. And then more November 14th fighters, Joel Haro and
Cammy
Adams.
And we got Jerome Hatch coming on Thursday. Trevor Bradshaw
Thursday or Friday.
I think we set him for Friday. I haven't checked my message. Thursday or Friday for Trevor Bradshaw. So dude, cranking them out. Love it. Anyways, all right. Well, go train. Don't get any more cuts on your face. Talk to you later.
Bye.